Hi there, my name is Ron McCracken. Just finished running and walking a few miles. Kind of a tough slog this evening. It's chilly out and I'm not real motivated for running tonight, but I got it done. 57 days in a row of running, and I think that makes 913 days of sobriety. Anyway, wanted to talk for a minute about PTSD, and as some of you know, I'm preparing for a week from today. Today's Friday, November 5th. A week from today, I will be making a presentation to the NAMI, Texas State Conference. That's National Alliance on Mental Illness, for anyone who doesn't know. And we're having our state conference next week. It'll be virtual, so anyone in the world can tune in. I'll be presenting via Zoom. Maybe next year be able to do it in person in Austin. But preparing for my presentation, I'm doing some research, and now I've learned a lot about PTSD. There's a lot of things I already know, but something I didn't know. I wasn't overly shocked at this, but this is a disturbing statistic I wanted to share about PTSD. And that's according to the National Institutes on Health, that among people with PTSD, they estimate between 2 and 11% of people who have PTSD ever get diagnosed. And out of those who are diagnosed, only half of them actually get treatment for it. And that's really disturbing. You know, we always hear that statistic about average of 22 veterans a day dying by suicide, and I don't know how completely accurate that is, but really, and here's why I tend to shy away from statistics on mental health conditions, because the numbers can become meaningless. Maybe not meaningless, but the numbers can get twisted a little bit. The point is that whether it's 2 or 22, it's too many. And the point is with this, let's be optimistic and say it's 8% of people with PTSD actually get diagnosed. Okay, so only half of them ever get treatment for it. So we're talking only 4% of people suffering from PTSD ever get effective treatment for it. And that's disturbing. It's upsetting, but I understand it maybe better than a lot of people do. It's my PTSD recovery journey, and that's going to be the topic of my presentation at the NAMI State Convention. That I already had before the Boston Marathon bombings. I already had several undiagnosed mental health conditions. Get that right. That were undiagnosed and untreated. That included depression, anxiety disorder, and some ADD as well. And I'd had an enormous amount of loss in my personal life, with my friend James dying, my mom dying, within just a few years of each other. And then a year after my mom died, my father died. But there were other people too. Just, a large amount of loss, and again, dealing with previous mental health conditions, and then throwing PTSD on top of that. So the way my therapist puts it, it made mine a little more complex, a little harder to solve, or maybe a lot harder to solve, I don't know. But, and again, everyone's different on that. my point was that I, probably like a lot of people, I didn't know right away that I had PTSD. And really, as the months went by, I thought maybe I did. A few people suggested that, well, I was looking for help. Excuse my burp there. I was looking for help. I was looking for therapy, but I didn't really know exactly the kind of help I needed. Also, I didn't have money. I didn't have insurance, and that's part of my story too that I'll share at the convention. So, I was going undiagnosed, untreated, and things just kept spiraling downward each month, each year, each passing year, and didn't get officially diagnosed until 2016. And then my first therapist initially stopped my downward spiral, but within a few months I realized that he was not the right therapist for me, that we basically were just having random conversations, and I wasn't getting any better, and in fact I was getting worse, and I wasn't getting the tools I needed. That's what I was searching for. I wasn't getting the tools I needed to move forward and start healing. And that's why it's critical that people get diagnosed and then find not just treatment, but effective treatment that, again, gives them the tools they need and helps them move forward. But that's just a disturbing statistic. I'm going to highlight that in my presentation and keep bringing it up, because that's something that, although it didn't surprise me, it hurt to read that. And that's just it in a nutshell. That, excuse my thumb keeps on cropping up here, and I'm holding my phone after I run. That's something that needs to change, and this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm being a mental health advocate and sharing podcasts and videos and talking about these things. I will say, before I found therapy, the thing that helped me stay connected, the thing that helped me was staying connected in some small ways. I had something outside of me, the Boston Marathon. I had something bigger than me, setting my goal with the Boston Marathon, or each day getting up and running. I had a few days after it, I started running with my flag, which really I discovered, it was unintentional. I discovered it really resonated with people and helped me connect with people. And it was that, I think that's one of the things that helped save me, was having those connections to things that were outside of me, things that were bigger than myself. So that helped me internally. But if you or anyone you know has PTSD or suspect may have PTSD, the best thing to do, well, if you have it, do whatever you can to find therapy. If you just are a friend or family member or something like that, best thing to do is be an active listener, which means listen without judging, and don't give them catchphrases like turn that frown upside down, or you're not trying hard enough, or this or that. But we're going to keep doing this, and definitely want to change that statistic. Want to get that statistic substantially better than it is now. And we can do that, but this has to be a real movement. And an organization like NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, an organization like NAMI can do that. We have offices all through the country. I think maybe in all 50 states. I'm not totally sure on that. But we can do this. But it has to change. It upsets me that it's really that bad. I didn't know it was quite that low a percentage, although I wasn't overly shocked. But that's about it. But we have to improve, and that's about it. I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. Hope everyone out there is doing well. If you're struggling, reach out as much as you can. Reach out for therapy. Let people know that you're struggling. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength to ask for help. All right. And remember that luminous beings we are. Have a great night. Bye.